Good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Follow me at Jericho Green on Rumble. Get your green gear 20% off until the end of the month. Promo code America, all caps, and the number 1. Why am I laughing? Well, yesterday I saw where Bidenis Pervertis hired one of the Ku Klux Trans to be the assistant health director under the incompetent piece of shit Xavier Becerra, formerly of LA fame. So he hired this person, and her name is Dr. Rachel Levine. Well, Jericho, so what if he hired someone named Rachel Levine? But wait till you see a picture of this crazy fucker. Now look, I was reading this article and it was saying how, well, during his campaign, he said that he was going to, and I quote, prioritize LGBTQ rights. First of all, cut out all that other alphabet soup group bullshit. There should just be G. That's it. Everything else falls under the umbrella of G. B, get the fuck out of here. Pick a side. You can't bi. Unless you're in college, you're not bi. You're gay. Pick a fucking side. So he hires Dr. Rachel Levine because he's going to prioritize LGBTQ rights, end quote. What the fuck does that mean? Does their rights not fall under all human rights? Now here's a question. If you're transgender, unless you just look fucking terrible, these people who, a dude that just puts on a dress and lipstick, I'm transgender. But if you put effort into it, nobody can tell unless you tell them. So just go about your life, living how you want to live, and don't say shit. I don't know. You get into paperwork, all health insurance, all that's a little more difficult and complicated. But out in the world, people don't know unless you tell them. So my thing is, this is a glimpse into the insanity that is coming. Now, imagine by now the inauguration is over. I want to get home, watch the inauguration, and then I will give my 2 cents on President Bidenis and Kamala Harris. Vice President. Sorry about that. Just you get that stomach acid burning in your throat. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But I'll check out the inauguration and I'll talk about it tomorrow. But this is a glimpse into the fucking insanity that is to come. How is the rest of the world going to look at us when we have a transgender person in the cabinet? Because he wants to represent America. That does not represent America. Transgender people are extremely few and far between. It's not like every third person is trans fucking gender. Stop it. They're a fraction of the population. I'd say less than half of 1%. That does not reflect America. Just like grown-ups who dress like fucking babies and eat out of giant high chairs does not represent America. That is silly and ridiculous. And the definition of this word, people only look at half of it. That you're talking about someone who's mentally handicapped. But the other half of the word retarded is silly, something that is silly and stupid. This is retarded. And all through the article, oh, she's been a champion of this and an LG and all this other shit. What does that have to do with your ability to perform your job? But again, one of their critical mistakes is it's all about diversity of appearance, not opinion. We want it to look like the fucking UN up here, the united colors of the rainbow up here, but everybody thinks the same and they stick to that script. That is not okay. Diversity can be a danger. I know it makes you feel good and we're diverse. We like everybody here. Shut the fuck up. Diversity is a double-edged sword. Diversity of thought is great because you might think of something from a different angle that I would never think of it from because I don't have your experiences. So it helps people grow. It helps us to get along better and learn more about each other. You know, the thing they don't want us to do, because a population that converses with each other, that gets together and talks about their ideas and learns from each other, is more likely to be together and be a more tight-knit group. And they can't have that shit if they're going to take over and turn this into the crown jewel of communist shitholes. Shit. Wait till you see the picture, man. How? Forget it. Let me go on to the next one. So, Snoop Dogg is a bitch. All this time, the whole Trump presidency, he even made a song a few years back where he kills Trump at the end. There's this clown, the theme throughout the video that everybody's clowns. And so at the end, this clown dressed up like Trump, he puts a gun to his head and pulls a trigger, and then the little, the flag that says bang comes out. So he mock murders the president. You're a racist, fuck Trump. Fuck Kanye West for supporting him. Fuck Trump supporters. You're all a bunch of coons and sellouts. All this shit. All these videos that he puts on IG. All these little, let me clap back. That's such a teenage girl thing to do, to get online and make a video about something somebody said about you and go back and forth like two catty teenagers. But he's been doing that, talking all this shit. And now, since Trump was on his way out and he's pardoning people, he wanted him to pardon the CEO of Death Row Records. So the whole time, Trump and anybody who supports anything he pushes is a sellout piece of shit, or a racist if you're white. But now that you want something from him, you're gonna put on your blue bandana knee pads and shove his racist white penis to the back of your throat because you need something from him. So now you're ready to put his dizzle in your mizzle for shizzle, right? Fuck him until you need him. Now you're ready to fill your belly on his racist seed. You forgot something, Snoop. You left a little bit right here. How is that? And all these dumb, deaf, and blind fools that follow him, oh, well, and they're going to come up with some bullshit ass excuse. Snoop is a straight bitch. Donald Trump's terrible until you need something. Then it's shizzle bizzle, y'all. You're cool now. Let my boy out of prison. Pardon my boy. Fucking chump. And here is the cherry on top of the fucked up sundae. Jacob Blake. Say his name. Right? We all know who that is. This summer, he is the guy who was shot 7 times in his back by the Kenosha police. And there's video, of course, there's video of everything. There's video of the police. He showed up somewhere he wasn't supposed to, trespassing. She had a restraining order against him. And whatever, he gets there, took one of the kids when they're his kid, but took the kid with him against the baby mom's will. So the police show up. So the police start tussling with him. They deploy their tasers. They're scuffling with him on the ground. Somehow he gets away, walks around to his truck, goes inside of the truck. Boom, 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 boom. Right? 7 shots to the back. He lived, luckily. He lived, lucky for him. He lived, but he's paralyzed, I believe, from the waist down. So everybody's saying, what was the narrative every time this happens? Unarmed black man shot by white police. And for some stupid ass reason, some people think that if you don't have a gun, you're unarmed. Well, if that's the case, how in the fuck were wars fought before guns were invented? Since you're unarmed, swords, spears, bows and arrows, all that stuff, you're not armed. Stick, bat, rock, you're unarmed until you get a gun. Okay, dummies. So another unarmed black man shot by the police. You got his stupid ass parents out there talking, oh, they shouldn't have done this to my son, and he was such a good, they're always good guys. They're always Boy Scouts. They just came back from delivering fresh muffins to the convalescent home, right? So he's a good guy. He would never do this. And of course, the city burned. Automatic. Set it on fire. Black guy, dead, fire. So comes out, they're not going to charge any of the police in his shooting. So then the other day, Jacob Blake, I don't remember who he was being interviewed by, but he admits that he had a knife. It's not a knife. That's a knife. He admits that he had a knife. He said, I dropped the knife on the floorboard of the car, and then I went to pick it up, comma, I shouldn't have done that. End quote. That's what he said. I shouldn't have done that. So now, context matters. Now, he says, I had a knife and I went to pick it up. So what this cop sees is this guy reaching for a knife. Jericho, the cop should have stepped back, put his gun away, used his taser, used his nightstick, used his pepper spray, held his hands and prayed for him. He should have done all this shit and taken the chance that Jacob Blake wasn't going to take that knife and stab him. Well, he didn't take that chance, and I don't blame him. Because how many videos have they seen? How much footage have they seen? How many other cops have they talked to about this guy had a knife? How many of their fellow officers have they seen stabbed? There's a video probably a week ago. Let's see. Where was it? Was it in Jacksonville? I think it was in Jacksonville, Florida. But the cops show up. The lady says and I think I talked about this in another video, but the lady calls the police. She says, my roommate took my medication. The cop goes to the door, knocks on the door, rings the doorbell. The door opens. The woman comes out and she surprised the officer, comes out with a knife in her hand, stabbed the officer in the arm. Luckily, it was in her arm. But according to these fucking jackasses, that cop should have went, oh, you're unarmed, miss. Let's talk about this before you find a gun. Because until you find a gun, you're unarmed. Tell that to the stitches that officer had to get into her arm, that this lady was fucking unarmed. It's ridiculous. So he said himself, I had a knife and I shouldn't have picked it up. So what does that mean? Sounds to me like we didn't know this before. This is a justified shooting. How about this novel idea? I hope you're sitting down because I don't want to blow your mind so hard with what I'm about to say that you lose your balance and fall. Everybody sitting down? Okay. If ever you find yourself interacting with the police, all right, and let's take away the fact that he was wrestled with and tased. Forget all that. If you find yourself in the presence of the police and you have a knife on the floor, here you go. You ready? Anybody watching, are they? Leave it there. I know. Mind blown. Leave that shit on the floor. How about you don't even go into your vehicle and try to get it? How about you don't scuffle with the cops? How about you don't show up to your baby mama's house, the one that has a fucking restraining order against you? Or we can take it out even further and get more of a macro view. How about you marry this girl before you get her pregnant, so there's less of a chance of you guys not being together and her filing a restraining order against your ass? Food for thought. That should be my next t-shirt. Me, somebody with a spoonful of food putting it into their head. Food for thought. If you have a knife, the cops are there. Don't reach for it. I know. Fucking shattered your whole belief system. Crazy, right? Fucking ridiculous. So like I said, tomorrow I will do a video on the inauguration. I will save my words for that video, but you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Get your Jericho Green notification tone link in the description box. Utilize the PayPal link and the Teespring link to get your green gear. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.